Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to another Double Take. This episode of Double Take features the adventures of Kolchak in 1972's The Night Stalker and 1973 The Night Strangler. These are both TV movies, which then led to the TV show Kolchak, The Night Stalker, which ran for 20 episodes in 1974 and 1975. Even though they were shown in 1974 and 1975, there's still 12 certificates in the UK, because at times they could be quite scary. These are two Kino Lorber Blu-rays, so they're Region A's, but they're really nice additions. So The Night Stalker has a commentary by Tim Lucas, and a new interview with the director John Llewellyn Maxey, a new interview with the composer Bob Cobert, and The Night Stalker, Dan Curtis, who created it, featurette. And The Night Strangler also has a commentary by Tim Lucas and the same interview with Bob Cobert, the composer, a directing The Night Strangler featurette, and this one, which has a slipcover, also has a little booklet with an essay in it. So they've actually went to town on these two releases, which are a lot of fun. How much you enjoy Kolchak is pretty much going to be how much I like the character played by Darren McGavin, who is this irascible newspaper reporter who stumbles across these strange cases, strange events. The Night Stalker is a pretty influential show. It's almost like a proto X-Files, proto Supernatural. There's so many series that kind of come from Kolchak, even though it probably doesn't get the respect it deserves. Darren McGavin is wonderful as the straw hat wearing, dishevelled suit, ambulance chasing news reporter. The first one, The Night Stalker, is set in Las Vegas, and there's a series of murders with people with holes in their necks, and no guesses what conclusion that leads Kolchak to. That Las Vegas has a vampire. Obviously nobody believes him. His boss, the long-suffering Vincenzo, played by Simon Oakland, who they spend most of the time in the films and the TV show shouting at each other. Obviously he doesn't want him to rock the boat, but Kolchak has the bit between his teeth. He just wants to get to the truth. Kolchak's so fantastic because he doesn't really have a plan. He just kind of goes head first because he wants the truth, no matter how crazy it is. These films usually have authority figures that want him to shut up, or they force him to shut up in one way or another. They put pressure on the newspaper he's working for. They frame him for crimes. This one stars Ralph Meeker as and Elijah Cook Jr. pops up in it as well. But Ralph Meeker's the authority that wants to keep his mouth shut. Because on the surface, again, it's kind of funny. The authorities want to keep him quiet, but underneath, in the kind of Watergate era, it is about people in power trying to silence the press, whether it's police departments or whether it's City Hall, using money or using threats or blackmail to actually keep the truth out of the papers. But obviously it's hard to keep Kolchak down. It's a great wee film. It's only 74 minutes because, like I said, they were TV movies, so it's probably shown over an hour and a half. The prints are great, Rakino Lorber. It's genuinely creepy in places as the body count increases and Kolchak gets closer to the truth. The great thing about these films and the TV show is it's kind of left. He always kind of leaves a question at the end, whether you believe the evidence or you don't believe the evidence, because most of the time he's reciting what happened. So the evidence is pretty much left up to you, whether you believe in vampires or... Obviously in the TV show there was werewolves and zombies and mummies and human sacrifice and lots of fun weird things over the 20 episodes. Again, I remember Night Stalker was shown late night in BBC Two in the UK. I think it was a Sunday night, but it was always so much fun. And then we have the Night Strangler, which is set in Seattle. Obviously it picks up Kolchak after he's forced to leave Las Vegas. Not in the Nicolas Cage sense, but he's forced to leave Las Vegas at the end of the Night Stalker. He comes to Seattle, and the strange deaths, strange enough, that turn up when he's there. Women being strangled, certain things being removed from them, and rotting human flesh being found on their necks. So again, this gets Kolchak thinking. This one again has Simon Oakland as Vincenzo's boss, who does lots of shouting and bawling at each other. David Carradine's in it. Margaret Hamilton turns up as an occult expert. It's kind of wonderful. Richard Anderson turns up as the villain because Kolchak finds out that every 21 years a number of killings happens, and then there's silence for another 21 years. The way he finds that out, by asking somebody who works in the bowels of the paper and the archives, is just a wonderful scene. So he kind of enables the list of a local burlesque dancer to help him out as they discover the city underneath the city of Seattle. And again, this one's really quite creepy in places, but again, it's a lot of fun. Again, like I said before, whether you like Kolchak or not pretty much comes down to whether you like Darren McGavin's performance, whether you like the character of this kind of irascible troublemaker who always wants to get to the truth, but you always kind of agree with him, you're always on his side, even though at times he can be annoying, but he's just like, he's so much fun. The films are so much fun. They don't take themselves too seriously, even though at times they are a little creepy. The show was given a kind of reboot in 2007 with a much more kind of glamorous, hunky lead, and they kind of sexed it up. I haven't seen a lot of it. There's no real point to it, to be honest. It loses that kind of shaggy dog element, that kind of shambling. He didn't wear a straw hat, for example, or a faded blue suit, which is Kolchak's uniform. That's his trademark. There was rumours in 2012 that Edgar Wright of Spaced fame and amongst other things, the Cornetto trilogy, was going to do a reboot with Johnny Depp for Disney. But as far as I know, that's never happened, and I doubt it's going to happen because then that was 8 years ago. And Disney being Disney, I can't imagine making that being anything you would actually want to see, despite obviously Edgar Wright usually does interesting things. But I think there's an element to Kolchak that is of its time. I think rebooting it and modernising it, it just wouldn't work because it needs that rough round the edges. Obviously it's TV movies, so they kind of look a certain way, you know, they're not beautiful to look at or anything, but there's a grubby rough round the edges, which is kind of the character of Kolchak. And again, Darren McGavin is just wonderful as Kolchak. He just nails it. A guy that we kind of can relate to. He is a human character, but he's always getting into scrapes. He's desperately trying to get the authorities to believe him, which they don't, and then until they actually are forced to, but then they want everything covered up, and then obviously they put pressure on him, run him out of town. He's been run out of just about every city in America. But he always finds another job. There's lots of great supporting actors in both films who do nice little turns, even if they don't get a lot of screen time. And I just love the way that, especially in the TV show, the endings were kind of, again, you're given the evidence second hand by Kolchak, and it's kind of up to you to decide. But it's a hugely influential show. Obviously the X-Files and other kind of supernatural shows that perhaps again left it to your imagination, just gave you the evidence. I mean, that all comes from Kolchak, not Kojak. That's a completely different show, which I probably won't be doing a video on. But if you're wanting a bit of fun, I would certainly recommend the Night Strangler and the Night Stalker, and I would also recommend picking up the TV show on DVD. Again, 20 episodes, so really it only ran, if you include the TV movies and the TV show, from 72 to 75. But I think one of the reasons it kind of stands up is the fact it didn't go on for like 10 years and the content and the stories weren't watered down. The TV show is consistently good, but again, the crux of whether you're going to like it or not is really how you respond to that main character. Personally, I think he's fantastic. Darren McGavin's fantastic as Kolchak. He'll always be Kolchak. Yeah, it's a bit of fun. They whiz by. Also, the first one's 74 minutes. The Night Strangler's slightly longer at 90 minutes. But they just fly by. The TV show fly by. There's a whole lot worse ways to spend 90 minutes of your life than watching Kolchak. So thanks so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments below if you've seen Kolchak and what you think of the Night Stalker, the Night Strangler, which one you prefer. And hopefully you'll join me again for more double takes. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying thank you and farewell.